Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. If you like The Mike Wagner Show and you want to make your own podcast, well, let me tell you about Anchor. First of all, it's free. Secondly, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can also add any song from Spotify directly to your episodes. The possibilities are endless. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. You can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosenzel, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and sponsored by international award-winning author Mia Mosenzel of Missing. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 40 podcast platforms, as well as HamiltonRadio.net, Diamonds FM, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We can be heard in over 100 countries, featuring over 1,000 well-known and amazing guests throughout the globe. And named one of the top 100 global podcasts in the New York Weekly Times, Hollywood Entertainment News, Los Angeles Weekly Times, Apple, and Chartable. So sit back and relax and enjoy another great episode of the award-winning Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs, and brought to you by official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mosenzel Missing, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. We're here with the amazing, multi-talented actress, singer, songwriter, and feature with stellar talent from Greenville, South Carolina. She is a commercial actress. She also been on, quite a few stations, Evolution Talent, and she has over 1,000 followers on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Instagram. She speaks of faith, perseverance, and dedication to her craft, and a couple of projects, including a well-known, which you remember from late night TV back in the day. And we'll talk about those two projects and more live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plush Studios in beautiful downtown South Carolina. The upcoming multi-talented actress, singer, songwriter, and featured stellar talent and more from Greenville, South Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, the multi-talented Brantley Goldford. Brantley, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Wonderful to be here.
Well, it's great to have you on board as well, too, Brantley. You're an actress, singer, songwriter, and you're featured with stellar talent. You're from Greenville, South Carolina. You're a commercial actress. You've been on quite a few stations, also with Evolution Talent. You have over 1,000 followers on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Instagram. You speak of faith, perseverance, and dedication to your craft. You also have a couple of projects you like to talk about. He Drives at Night, featuring Eddie Muenster from the Muensters, iconic Times Square, and also I Love You Anyway, to show off your talents as well. And before we talk about that, Brantley, tell us how you first got started.
Yes, I apologize. Could you tell me that one more time, please?
Tell us how you first got started.
Yes, how we first got started. Okay, so I have been acting since I was a child. Now, I did take a small break from it, or a large break from it. I've only been serious about it in the last 4 years. I went out to I auditioned for an open call called Talent Inc., and they auditioned 4,000 people and picked 200. And so I was chosen out of that amount of people to go and do a Hollywood showcase, which was just completely amazing, and perform for people all over the world, including Spielberg's people, and everywhere from Hawaii, London, everywhere. Did the showcase for 500 people, and did a whole thing where I sang, commercial, walked down the runway with little kids, and film scene, improv. So, I am a professional actress. I've done many small films through the years, videos, music videos. I work at a local station here in Greenville. I call it local, but it's really the oldest Christian television station in the world here in Greenville, South Carolina, and have volunteered there for many, many years. But this was completely separate from what my career, and so it's really been a ride. It's really been a wonderful, wonderful journey for me.
And it sounds like it as well, too, and very well sounds like it. And what was that one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your career, Brantley?
I just think I knew intuitively that this is what I was supposed to do. I really enjoy performing. I enjoy television a lot more than I enjoy live performing, even though I do perform live. But I think that it just was, you just kind of know when your life is leading you towards something new and something different. And that's kind of what happened for me is I got involved volunteering for a television station, and I had some experience. And so I thought, well, why not? What do I have to lose? I think I'll try my hand at this.
Mm-hmm. And you're certainly doing a great job of it as well, too, and making the most of it. And who are some of your favorite actors, singers, songwriters, and musicians growing up?
Oh, I love Dolly Parton. I think she's wonderful. I had a wonderful role model from a child. Her name was Bridget Anderson. Unfortunately, she passed away, and she passed away at a very young age, about 15 years old. But she did a movie called Savannah Smiles, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful movie. And there's so many people, it's really hard to say who is a role model because there are so many wonderful, wonderful ones out there.
Mm-hmm. And certainly wonderful as well, too. You also got some influences and becoming an influencer yourself. You're working with Eddie Muenster. You also did a music video. You're featured in the film. And also, you've also have a really good following on social media. We'll talk about those. But first, listen to The Mike Widener Show at themikewidenershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget, Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition way. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960 or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Widener Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Widener Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for it goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia. Available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Widener Show at themikewidenershow.com and over 40 podcast platforms heard in over 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music, and also heard on HamiltonRadio.net and a few networks coming soon, along with more podcast platforms. Take The Mike Widener Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Widener Show on the YouTube channel. Follow The Mike Widener Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out The Mike Widener Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. I'll support The Mike Widener Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and themikewidenershow.com. Make sure you do so today. We're here with a terrific lady who is a multi-talented actress, singer, songwriter from Greenville, South Carolina, Brantley Goldford, here on the Mike Widener Show. And we talked about your upbringing as well, too, starting at 10 years old, being featured on Hollywood Showcase, and you worked at the local TV station in town as well, too, and you have over 1,000 followers on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, and Instagram as well, too. And also, you talk a lot about the perseverance. Before we talk about your works, I mean, you have a lot of faith, perseverance, and dedication, and maybe you can just tell us about, what does it take to really get into the business and persevering?
Well, thank you for saying that, because that is a very, very big thing. Even with my upbringing, in which my parents were a little bit in television, but that was not, I didn't really follow in those footsteps a whole lot. And my biggest question, especially for anybody new that's starting it out, is like when you hear music and you hear it on the radio when you're in a building or business or whatever, and you say, how do people even get to do that? How does that happen? And so in my experience, what happened is I went to an open call. And I was signed with 3 agencies. I was signed with one in New York, one in Orlando, and one in North Carolina. And that was when you were talking about Evolution, and one is Am Right Talent, and the other one is Mannequin. But talking about inspiration and being inspired and what it takes, it takes everything you've got. And I'm sure that you know that. You have to really want to do this, because I think that, of course, my motivation would always be to be an example. I don't want to be someone different when people meet me. And I'm human. I'm sure that's going to happen sometimes. But my goal is that, when I meet someone out and this is happening a little bit more and more, and I'm very thankful for it, that they'll say, I know you, where do I know you from? And I wanted to find a good way to respond to that, so that it wasn't like me just kind of building myself up, that it was more like I could show an example. So I would let them figure it out without saying, well, you might have saw me here. But no, I think the example that you give and persistence comes from your drive to be an example, if it's lasting. And at least that's what I believe in my own life. It will be lasting if I can find purpose in it. And I am finding purpose in it. Just the wonderful people that I meet, and like you and others, and just the networking that goes on, and that's a wonderful thing. And so anyway, I hope that answered your question somewhat.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of the biggest challenges that you have encountered, and what was the biggest challenge that you had and managed to overcome?
I think people not putting me in a box and stereotyping me just because, I am an actress who is a Christian, but that doesn't mean that every part that I take is a Christian part. And I had a little bit of a hard time with that in the beginning, because as a child, I looked up to the people on TV, and I thought, well, no way I would ever do. And I still have my boundaries and what I will do. I was chosen for a part, it's called Through the Wide Gate, and it was, straight on the train, straight to New York City. It was a part based on Rosemary's Baby, and mm-hmm. And a lot of people asked me, they said, what's acting? Why in the world did you do that? The role was a girl that sold her soul to the devil for fame. And I just didn't, I felt conviction about that. And so I chose not to audition for that. But there are other things that, I was chosen for Ballers, and that was on HBO, getting some auditions with Netflix and things like that. And so yes, I think, I want to inspire people. And the biggest challenge that I've had to overcome is for people not just to put me in a box and say, Christian, no, she's just, for this kind of television, and she's not for this other kind of television. To prove that I'm a lover of people. And, if they ask me about it, of course, I'm going to answer honestly, but I want to lead with my love first. And that's the biggest thing. And I have been told by so many, oh no, they, in Hollywood, they hate Jesus. And that is just not true. It is just not true. Not in my experience. When I went to the Hollywood, when I went to the showcase, and this was no one, this was not church affiliated at all, completely Hollywood. And then with the song that I did, I Love You Anyway, I mean, I had a tremendous response from these people. And it was just, it's just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Mm-hmm. It does sound wonderful indeed as well, too. And there are some Christian actors and actresses out there that do make their mark in Hollywood, like Kirk Cameron. He also had Cameron Bure, who played in Full House. And I think also Robin Givens was also in a movie as well, too. And Morgan Fairchild, and it was mainly on PureFlix. But what are your thoughts on some of the movies on PureFlix and some of the actors and actresses in it?
Well, I know some of these people, and they're wonderful actors. Brad Heller, which is out of, and I don't want to promote anybody in particular. I know that's not what I'm here for, but he has an acting school out in L.A. Wonderful, wonderful actor. Because of me being involved in, again, I said local television station, but it's really the oldest Christian television station in the world. Met many people through their Channel 16 TV, and I did not meet the owner of PureFlix, and I'm so sorry, I cannot think of his name right now, but they did a Skype with him. I have not met him, but I did buy his book. He has a wonderful book called Between Heaven and Hollywood. and and I thought, that's kind of appropriate. So that was a good read, and so it really is interesting because it does cross over a good bit, and that all comes down to motives, and that's why no one can really know your motives. Only you really truly know your motives when you do something. Absolutely.
Okay. He also been in a movie as well, too. He Drives at Night, featuring Eddie Muenster from the Munsters. And tell us about that. That sounded like a fun film.
Yes, that was a stretch for me, okay? And I was on the casting sites, one from New York City called Casting Networks, and we get a lot of work from Casting Networks. You're linked through an agent and so on. But it happened to be that this audition that came through New York City were some local people. And so that was very, very interesting and the wildest thing I've ever done, because there I am literally laying on the street with a makeup artist, and they're making me up. And, I would have loved to have invited my mom and dad to the red carpet for that. But I didn't think they wanted to see me get axed, and that's I was one of the many, many ones that was. But I had a really, really big part in that. I had what I love the most about what they did with that is, and it's very interesting because the Netflix, the Dahmer is like the number one show in the world right now, which is really interesting. And this is not very far away from that. This was a true story too.
I remember that. Yes, and yes. Of course, I'm sure people are eating that one up in honor of Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yes, they're fascinated by that. They are, and this is very similar. This was a true story. He wasn't as grotesque, but he was a serial killer, and he still went after not necessarily just women, but different, men and women. But what I love the way that it was played very realistically. And what they did with me is they froze the frame. And so when they froze the frame, not only did I have a major part with lines, but when they froze the frame, that gave me a little bit more airtime. And so that one won all kinds of awards, and it was shown in the roster up in New York City on the sign in the middle of Times Square. And so that was amazing. That was so amazing.
It had to be amazing as well, too. What was it like working with Eddie Muenster?
Well, that's another thing about television is that you learn as you go. And, I didn't meet him. He was filmed on location somewhere else. And so they just brought his part in, as well as another movie that I did, and this is really funny. Did a short film, and the movie, my part in this particular short film movie was, I can't believe, where have you been? I've been waiting on you for 15 minutes. Well, then they shot my part, and then when they brought the rest of the movie in, the girl in the movie, she had ended up, you know, she drowned herself in the bathtub with pills.
Oh my!
And so, so all I saw was, you know, I guess I should ask more questions, but yeah. So you know, a lot of times you will go somewhere and you think you're going somewhere elaborate and grandiose, and it turns out to be just a tiny little house with some cameras. And I don't mean that you shouldn't always be cautious and wary and go through a reputable agency, or at least go through people that you know, that other people know them. Don't ever go, you know, somewhere where you don't know the people at all. But a lot of work I've gotten has been from the TV station or from the agencies, because you want to be safe, and of course it's not safe to just go somewhere that you don't know. But yes, you really, you know, things are always different than you think they're going to be. And that's a good thing in a lot of ways, because when you do television, you know, there you are, and there's a cast of actors, and you're filming, and we filmed one for 2 days, called The Plugging of the Jug, in like 100-degree heat.
Oh my.
And, oh yes. And you know, like I had a crying scene, and it wasn't too hard to pretend like I'm crying when sweat's like dripping off my face, but it was really done well, and so, you know, and it was filmed in a historic home, so everything that you do, you know, it gives you a little bit more of a education about what you're doing, and you get better and better at it. So very interesting. It's an educational thing for sure.
And what are some of the tips and tricks you would share with people if they want to get into business?
Be confident in who you are, whatever that is. There's no one like you. No matter who you are, you're uniquely made, and you have attributes that you can bring. Believe in yourself. One of the best advice that I have gotten from my manager, she said, it's not that you want what they wanted, you just want what they needed. And that was very, you know, helpful to me, because a lot of times I would go to auditions, and, you know, they told me at the showcase, you know, they can be rude to you. Hadn't had a lot of those experiences, but, you know, they could be rude to you without even meaning to be rude to you. You know, I audition for a TV series, you know, and, you know, they say, oh, well, you know, right now I'm not, but, you know, back then, oh, you're that extra large part. We don't need an extra large. You know, that can be very hurtful. Mm-hmm. I was at a casting call, which was very good for me, but I saw a little girl crying, and I really, really regret this, because I wish I had been able to stop and talk to her and tell her, don't ever base your opinion on just what one group or one person says. They really don't know. It's a wide field. And, you know, even if you're behind the camera and you get to work behind the camera, and then you go forward that way. But yeah, my best advice is just believe in yourself, and, you know, all things are possible, especially with God, of course. And, number one, with God, and just believe in yourself, and, don't be afraid to step outside. You know, it's kind of like looking for a job, except for on steroids. When you look for a job, you have to put yourself out there. And when a lot of times you might go to 10 job interviews, and they say, you know, I'm sorry, you know, you're not what we need right now, or we don't need this. And it's so depressing. You're like, oh, and auditioning is even different, because you're actually literally selling yourself as the product, and you're getting up there and you're saying, you know, I'm what you need. And if they say, well, you're, you know, sorry, this time you're not, you could take that personal, but just don't. Just don't. Just keep moving on to the next thing, because if that is not the door for you, then, and you keep feeling like it is, another door will open up, or something different will open up to show you why you were on that path in the very first place.
And that's very good advice as well, too, and learning a lot from you as well, too, Brantley. And where do you see yourself about 5-10 years from now?
Oh, I'd love a TV series. And that's the goal. You know, if if I could hit that goal, I think that would be the end all for me, really. I can see myself absolutely doing some big movies or a TV series. I'm not trying to brag, but I do believe I have the personality for it, and I can certainly, you know, memorize the lines. Some of the small films I've been have been 18-page scripts, so. But you know, you have to be able to put yourself in the position of the character and see yourself from their perspective, and then the lines just kind of come easier because you feel like you relate to who you're playing. But absolutely, yes, I do see myself doing a television series or you know, at least, you know, something a big movie. You know, it was always a dream to work for Disney. I always thought, this is my voice, but I can really sound like a little girl sometimes. I mean, I'll answer the phone and people will say, you know, can I speak to your mom? You know, and I'll walk through the studio and they'll say, I thought there was a child in here, you know, and they really did think there was a child. So whether these things, you know, they just take time, you know, and but yeah, that's what I would love. And like I said, it doesn't have to be secular or Christian. I think I'm being led more towards, I'd like to do some comedy maybe, or something meaningful. But not necessarily something that is, it doesn't have to be G-rated. But G-rated's okay too. I just want to do something that is not, for lack of a better word, you know, cheesy, but, but, you know, that's a matter of opinion. And so, you know, I always kind of fell in love with shows about friends. Like, there was a show years ago called 30 something. And that was a show about a group of friends. And, you know, I came from the era of St. Elmo's Fire and those kinds of things. So, I like movies about relationships, you know?
That's rather interesting. And you brought up about comedy as well, too. And you want to do some stand-up. Who are some of your favorite comedians growing up?
Oh, well, I'm not much into the stand-up, although, of course, I loved, you know, this is a little bit, well, I don't want to say it's before my time, because it's not really super before my time, but, you know, of course, I loved Eddie Murphy, and I know that Shonda Pierce is really funny. I've never seen her perform, but I've heard a little bit of her work. Of course, Robin Williams, all the great ones. So many. That's another one that's just kind of hard to say, but, you know, I loved Robin Williams, and I think when a movie or a comedian or an actor can make you cry and laugh at the same time, then that's saying something good about them, because it's really entertaining you. And I just want to go on even beyond entertainment to somehow be a tool to bring good things, you know, to television. Because I grew up with great television. I grew up with Mr. Rogers and the original Sesame Street and all these things that were so identifying in my life as a person. And I would like to see more of that.
And certainly as well, too, that now you're an actress, and also you've been doing some voiceover work. You're also a singer as well, too. We'll talk about the song I Love You Anyway and more of your amazing singing career. You listen to The Mike Widener Show at themikewidnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. And brought to you by official sponsor of The Mike Widener Show, international war-wearing author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. We'll be back with the multi-talented actor, singer, songwriter from Greenville, South Carolina, Brantley Goldford, after this timeout.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to the Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back with the multi-talented actress, singer, songwriter from Greenville, South Carolina, Brantley Goldford, here on the Mike Wagner Show. We talked about the movie He Drives at Night, featuring Eddie Muenster, the Muensters, also been in a number of movies as well, too, and began her career at the age of 10, over 1,000 followers on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Instagram, and more. And now you're an actress and a wannabe comedian. You're also a singer with a song, I Love You Anyway, and more. And tell us more about that.
Absolutely. Oh, I love to sing, and I've been singing since I was a child. And actually trying to write, in the process of writing a pilot, maybe for a television show. We'll see. But singing, I have a song that's going to come out at Christmas time. It's called Heaven, and it's Heaven is Wherever You Are. I love singing, and, have been singing, all of my life. Not so much, I sang in the choir for a little while, but I recorded a song in the studio, not commercial for Rick Springfield, but we recorded it, as a gift to me and some of my friends. I did, done national commercials, sang, Sunshine Juice Bars commercials, and yeah, that's fun. That's really fun. And so yeah, I have a little bit of experience with that. My mom and dad were songwriters and singers, and but again, I really wasn't following their path. They had kind of moved on to other things, and so that's interesting too. But oh yeah, absolutely enjoy singing very, very much. I think the goal is to put a song out, then put another song out, and then maybe eventually get to where I have enough to put an album out, and maybe even do some remakes of some other people's songs. But I certainly do enjoy it, absolutely.
And certainly looking forward to it as well, too, Brantley. And where can we find all your music, all your movies, and all your works at?
Absolutely. It is on Amazon. The name of the company is called DistroKid. And it, you can go through Stellar Talent. Pamela Copenhagen is my manager. And so that would be the best place to look for me. But my music is out on Amazon and also over 100 platforms, worldwide. So not hard to find at all. You can Google me, Brantley Goldford, of course, and I don't want to sound tacky, but yeah, but the best way to go through me would be my manager, absolutely, through Stellar Talent.
We certainly will do so once again with the multi-talented actress, singer, songwriter Brantley Goldford from Greenville, South Carolina, here on the Mike Wagner Show. Brantley, just a few more minutes here. What can we expect from you in 2022 and 23 and beyond?
Well, I am still casting, casting for movies. I have some auditions coming up, and again, going towards this television show dream. And so some music, gonna put out some music and just go forward and everything. And so I think there's a lot to look forward to.
And certainly indeed as well, too, we are certainly looking forward to it. And who do you consider your biggest influence in your career?
The biggest influence in my career? I mean, I would have to say the Bridget Anderson. And like I said, even though she was a little girl, she really did influence the way that I look at television and the way that I look at my life, too. I don't think there's anything better that television can do besides turn people to a different way of thinking. And I hope that's a positive way. That's certainly going to be my goal, to go towards positive television.
And certainly indeed. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Anybody that's aspiring to be an actor and a singer?
Just in general.
Start, do not despise the day of small beginnings. Start learning everything you have. If it's books, you don't have a computer, start with that. Start learning everything you can about this industry, about just learn everything you can. When I first started, after I went to Hollywood, when I came back from Hollywood, I really didn't know a lot of people on that level at all, and it was kind of like rocket scientists. Even though of course I live in a nice place and have lots of educated people around me, I didn't really know anybody to go to say, I really need help. And I had gotten a reality show. I was #1 in the UK. I got an audition for a reality show.
Nice.
So it was called, yes, sir. It was called The Hunted. And I don't think they ever went on and produced it, but it was through CBS. It was wonderful. And she was so wonderful and called me about it and everything. And I sent her a video clip. And like I said, I just don't think they went on with it here. But I didn't have anybody to ask, and the technology was certainly new to me. I had never had a phone with the Facebook and all these things. So I taught myself the Facebook, and I taught myself how to network, and I taught myself how to do the podcast and all those things. So my advice to other people is just don't despise the day of small beginnings and learn everything that you can learn. And that's, one step turns into many steps.
And certainly great advice as well, too. You are amazing faith, perseverance, and dedication as well. We're here with the multi-talented actor, singer, songwriter, Brantley Goldford from Greenville, South Carolina, here on the Mike Wagner Show. Brantley, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Just make sure you keep this up to date. Keep in touch. Love to have you back. We wish you all the best. Once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact? Where can people purchase or check out your works?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And where can we find you at?
You can find me at Stellar Talent or Amazon, DistroKid, and anywhere where you buy music. My song is on social media, of course. I have a fan site, Brantley Goldford fan site. Any of the major platforms, like you said, Instagram, Facebook, any of those. So not hard to find.
All right, well, certainly do so. Once again, Brantley, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love to have you back. We wish you all the best. And Brantley, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful thing to say. Thank you so much for having me on. I've had a beautiful time.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People, based on a real-life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamosenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show. Brought to you by international award-winning author Mia Mohsen-Zia of Missing. And powered by Sonic Web Studios. Be sure to join us again on over 40 podcast platforms. And of course on the MikeWagnerShow.com, HamiltonRadio.net, and Diamonds FM. Don't forget to support our program with a generous donation at the MikeWagnerShow.com. Thanks for listening.